Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Fake Racers Podcast, Episode 3. The first time we've done it in back-to-back weeks. It's crazy, Davey. It's crazy, Davey. As always, I'm your host, Joe Twansky, with everything here on JTN, and it's Davey tonight once more, as always. Welcome, Davey, to the podcast studio. I can't say booth. Oh my god, we're not at a racetrack.
Welcome to the podcast booth, Joe. It's great to be here. I'm Davey Hazard. Kansas happened, and a lot more happened too. I'm excited.
Kansas did happen, and
Kansas did happen.
there was a lot of talk Sunday, and I could have told you before the race even started. Now, granted, it was really cold in Kansas. I saw the pictures of the drivers bundle up. I didn't watch pre-race because I was watching football.
Traitor.
It's Kansas, Davey, and we'll get into that later about Texas, but Kansas, I didn't expect it to be a very good race. I was watching Twitter, and when Chase won the first stage, everyone was pretty happy with the package and the racing. And I don't know if you watched the whole thing flag to flag, but as the race went on, Twitter started kind of shifting, right? Had this paradigm shift.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably not how you use that word.
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Paradigm shift.
I'm a mechanical engineer. I'm not an English major. ME doesn't stand for mechanical English. It stands for mechanical engineering.
Yeah, no, you're right. Paradigm shift. Fundamental change in approach or underlying assumptions.
Let's go. Look at me using big words here on the Fake Racers Podcast on JTN.
Where is it at? Where's it at again? Sorry, what was that?
On JTN, the Johto
Yes,
Network.
Sir.
We got some beautiful pictures tonight, too. We're just having fun. And then, throughout the race, I think the opinion really swayed. We come with a caution with like 40 or so to go. Logano came down pit road in second. Pit crew did their job, got him off of pit road first. And then he was able to block his way to victory. We're going to start like this, Davey. And
Okay.
It's definitely they're definitely going to get your opinions on this
Oh,
race.
yes, they are.
But
yes, they are.
Was there anything different Harvick could have done to try to get around Logano?
Racing a different series, probably.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe assumption.
I mean, seriously. Joe's gonna save the in-depth talks about this for the off season, but it is ridiculous that one of the main metrics we measure if a race is good or bad or not is passing, right? Like we care about passing, don't we?
I mean, you do. You care about it more than most, but yeah, go on.
But as a whole,
yeah,
as the race plays out, one of the metrics of an exciting race, there's strategy and there's storylines and there's context, but passing is one of those things, right?
Mm-hmm. You're right. I mean, you're right.
Why on earth are we making it so hard to do that? Why are we stunting ourselves in that area? And I see all these media people, like I argue with Dave Moody about it. Nate Ryan's blabbing again. I love Nate Ryan, but he's blabbing about it, saying, "Oh, the race is harder. It's the hardest sport in the world. It should be hard." That's like almost a direct quote from Dave Moody, and it's like, yes, the driving the car should be hard. It should be difficult to drive the car and be good at it. It shouldn't be difficult to do the thing that makes the racing exciting. We shouldn't have things that like would you do like the stage cautions at road courses? We want to get rid of them, right? At road courses, like that would be an improvement to the racing. Why is that, Joe?
Because we don't like artificial strategy.
Exactly. We want to bring the real strategy back to road course racing. That is what. And Joe just got done telling me how just saying it's the package is not, it's not entirely true, but that's what the package is doing to passing. It's literally just stunting it and killing it. Like, we shouldn't be making it so hard to do a thing that makes the racing exciting. That should be the easy part. Passing should be the easy part. Driving the car, in my opinion, should be the harder part of the equation.
Yeah, and I think, Davey, the whole point when NASCAR announced this as the aero package for last year in 2019 and then continuing with it this year, the emphasis was on eliminating that advantage that the front car had, that the lead car had. You were going to be able to get up on the back bumper of somebody. You were going to be able to at least be able to try to make a move. Because before, I think people a lot of times forget that that front car still had an advantage in years prior. And they were getting more and more advantage as we continued to keep the rules package more stagnant and dynamic, or static than dynamic. Those are some fun words to use. So the idea of this package was originally, okay, let's make it so we can pass easier. Let's make it, or maybe not, easier might not be the best word, but let's make it so guys can actually get runs up on people. And we see that, right? We see guys are able to get runs. The problem is, and again, I want to save the talk, like the more technical talk, for the off season when we're just, twiddling our thumbs, talking about like paint scheme reveals and whatnot, because I'm sure that's what we're gonna have to end up doing. But
no, I'm sure we have enough. We have so many opinions. we'll have content.
We're gonna have content about each manufacturer's development system. We're gonna talk about.
So if you guys don't stick around, I'm gonna be pissed.
I mean, yeah, I didn't even bleep that one out. So like, yeah, we're talking real. We're gonna be real angry. Yep. But I think the problem is, and it goes back to, is there anything different Harvick could have done? There was one point, I think it was 12 to go, maybe it was in that range, where he had a killer run off of turn 4, got all the way to the back bumper of Logano, but he had to lift because he wasn't gonna. And people say, "Oh, he got tight. Yeah, he probably did get tight, but he could have ran Logano over because Logano was throwing blocks on him. He just chose not to do that because, again, Harvick, and I think this is something that's kind of over. Harvick can run second in these races, and he'll make it to Phoenix, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think that's something with. He could have done a lot of things different to try to win the race. He could have bumped Logano. He was the faster car, right? I'm sure there was some alternate universe where he was able to get around Logano. He could have done something a little bit different. I'm sure he would admit that he could have done something different. Maybe save that move to the bottom for a little bit later. I was listening to the Door Bumper Clear Spot or podcast yesterday because TJ Majors is on there and is Logano's spotter. I think it goes back this package, and I think Kansas is a great example of, we talk about these drivers. We want the cars to be tough to drive because that's going to make passing, that's going to make better racing, and all this. And I agree with that 100%, Davey. And I agree, but I think a lot of times we sell short these guys that, yes, maybe the cars, and I think this was a point, if we go back to NASCAR journalist, and you mentioned Nate Ryan, and we talked about this a little bit pre-show, statically. So cars by themselves, no, I'm trying not to get too much technical into, but I think this is...
No, do it.
This is base level enough. Let's not hold back.
Yeah, don't stunt your conversation for the sake of a future. Like, we can go back to it. It's fine. Yeah. Go ahead.
I think if he had qualifying for this race, Harvick would have been on pole. Harvick was the fastest car. If he was out front, he was pulling away. So statically, car by itself, very little factors with... And this has to go with, too, like, lapped cars. Like, the 53 car is not making some huge wake in the air that's going to ruin Kevin Harvick's speed, right? It's when he's running around cars that are, like the 11, the 22, the 2... 9, 88, those type of guys that have similar speed. What we've done is, yes, we've made statically cars by themselves, we made it easier. Yes, maybe we've made it easier when they're in the pack and they're all together and we have these super speedway style racing at Kansas and Chicagoland and, well, sorry, rip Chicagoland. Rip Chicagoland. Charlotte, for a lap. Some tracks it lasts a little longer, but that's temperature. I think we sell short though these drivers a little bit, and even their spotters, because man, you listen to the radio too. They had that in-car shot where they had Harvick and Logano, and yeah, that was the finish of that race was so frustrating. But that was the coolest shot because you can hear the throttle of both of them, albeit like 85%. Was like the minimum throttle they probably had input there towards the end. But you could hear it, right?
I will agree with you. Yeah.
And there's a lot more than just, we're going to hammer the gas pedal and we're going to turn left. Like, it's still a lot more than that. We've just transitioned it from being able to drive a car that's on the edge to, okay, you need to manage the air, right? We've made everyone try to, everyone always talked about, oh, Dale Earnhardt, he could see the air. He could see the air. Now these drivers, they almost have to, right? I think drafting or the aerodynamics of these cars and understanding how that works with all the other cars around you, now more than ever, especially at these 1.5 miles, not even as much at Daytona and Talladega, because that's still the same thing, but now you get like turbo freaking boosts. I almost said a bad word. You almost got me. But I think we see, it's different. I think it's a different style of racing. I don't think it's necessarily the sexiest style of racing. It's not even entertaining a lot of weekends, right? It's not even fun to watch, because like, okay, whoever's got the lead, unless there's bad lap traffic, whatever, right? But I think this race, it serves, and this package is gone with next gen, in my opinion. There's no way they can say, okay, we're gonna go back to this idea.
They can't keep looking at the racing we're getting and thinking that that's what we're doing. There's no way. I refuse to accept that.
So we're gonna have next season, and when we talk about schedule in the off season too, because we're still I wanted to wait for the Truck and Xfinity schedules to kind of do schedules all as one episode. We have less races next year, though, with this package. They took Atlanta and Darlington. They're going to put the 750 small spoiler for those, so that took away 4 races, because Atlanta and Darlington both got an extra date. So we got 4 races off the schedule with the package from hell. I guess I can say hell.
From poo-poo land.
But yeah, I mean, the hope has to be, right, Davey, that next gen, I've been talking for a lot now, next gen coming soon is hopefully going to fix the mistakes of the current setup of the Gen 6.
Bring back mechanical grip. Yes, sir.
Sorry, I was taking a sip of my drink.
You're
yeah,
fine.
I mean, yes and no. We're going to be moving more and more towards aerodynamics, I think.
No, I know it's not realistic.
Yeah.
I'm very aware, but the more you can get race cars relying on mechanical grip, the less we're going to have the discussion that we're having right now.
And that would be a good thing. A series, though, that has a pretty interesting package, pretty interesting rule format.
How about that Chase Briscoe?
We'll talk about the silly season, official season stuff later on, but locks it in for Phoenix, man. He is... Oh, man, I'm so happy. Chase Briscoe, he is such a cool dude. Met him at a Ford appearance at the racetrack before. Just a down-to-earth guy. Man, he is so cool. He wins it, though, at Kansas. Obviously, he's the title favorite. I think they struggled there in March, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think they'll struggle there again. I think, though, like, a guy like Allgaier gets in, he automatically becomes the favorite just because he's so good at Phoenix.
Yeah.
Or even like Brandon Jones, who spanked the field there somehow. 9 wins this year, Davey, and it goes back to those 9 wins, they're not going to matter for the championship 4, but Briscoe, I mean, what more can you say about Chase Briscoe?
Oh, no, absolutely on fire this year. It's kind of ridiculous, man. It's like, you can look at Austin Cindric and they'll say, oh, he's got however many wins Austin Cindric has. I mean, that's cool and all, but he's got easily the best car in the field. Very, very easily the best car in the field. I'm sure he's improved a lot this year. We talked about him already. But, yeah, no. I'm so happy with Chase Briscoe doing what he's doing and the future stuff we're going to talk about soon. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. I'm happy for him. I like that a lot.
Hey, man, it gives me another driver to root for in the Cup Series. Now I'll have 3. Again, or 4. I guess I have 4 technically, but 3 that'll be in really good cars, and 1 that sounds like it's not going to be in the greatest of equipment. But we'll see where that goes. We'll talk about that later too.
And I'm gonna have 0.
Well, you can always root for Chase Briscoe. I think that's a good pick.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a good pick. Or you could cheer for the guy that's going to be driving the 43 car. Anyways, Austin Cindric, Noah Gragson, they wrecked early. I missed the wreck again because I was watching college football. I'm so sorry, guys. Check out my Twitch. Links in the description below. We do college football NCAA 14 videos or streams Saturday mornings and Friday late nights.
Also, hold on. Before you continue, we do a good enough job here, all right? So we get in-depth about a lot of things. We don't get in-depth about some things. We're going to miss stuff, all right? Joe, you're a busy boy.
I'm a busy boy.
You are a busy boy.
I had way too many mental breakdowns last week. Thank you, University of Michigan.
Yeah, no one's gonna be upset if we can't get to the thing that we missed.
But hey,
I don't think people are gonna be like, they didn't talk about the Xfinity wreck that took out Noah Gregson and Austin Cindric. Like, I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care.
But I mean, that wreck early.
Big implications.
I mean, but like you look at the points. I'm gonna pull them up here just so I can remind myself.
Oh, Austin Cindric is. I mean, I think he's still in the good, but it's close now. It's very close.
Let's see. He is, yeah, so he's last one in technically by 2 points. So he's had his mulligan. That was his mulligan race. Early wreck for him. Gregson was not. Cindric was able to get the car fixed and back out on track, so good job to the 22 crew. Gregson, though, not as lucky. He is, looks like, about 33 points back, if I did the math correctly. Sure, I could actually find an actual picture that would tell me those numbers, but yeah, I mean, Cindric, Texas, he won Texas on a technicality in July after Kyle Busch got disqualified, so he'll probably be good there. And because they were fast at Kentucky too, and those tracks are so similar. It's crazy how we got rid of one. And then the one guy though I want to talk about, because we arguably just went to his best track. Wasn't able to pull off a win, but obviously he's in good position now to make it. Brandon Jones currently sitting there. We talked about him continuing on with JGR and Xfinity next week, but or next year. We talked about it last week.
Quietly really improving this season in the weirdest way.
I mean, like, it's crazy. So, you look at Brandon Jones.
He's got 3 wins this season.
I know. Winning at Phoenix, beating Kyle Busch heads up. That was very impressive. Won at Kansas because he came down and he won at Kansas in July. He came on the. I think he won the Did they do a doubleheader? No, the trucks did a doubleheader. Won at Kansas in July. Were you actually or were you just assuming that I was right?
I'm assuming you're right.
Okay, cool. I assume I'm right too.
I'm just trusting you, man. All
right, now tell me your social security, your mother's maiden name. Anyways, if you really trust me.
No.
No. All right.
No, I'm mostly just trusting you because I gotta admit, for about a solid, 15 races, I followed the Xfinity series purely on Twitter.
Well, it happens.
I mean, sometimes it just happens.
He won that Kansas race. I think they came down, took tires with 10 laps to go. Then they got another caution in between them and the end of the race, so he was able to capitalize on that. So, and that's something we haven't seen out of Brandon Jones in the past, being able to capitalize on those really good situations. He then again did it at Darlington, right, on day before Labor Day, or 2 days before Labor Day, where he won there. But yeah, Brandon Jones being very quiet, and Justin Allgaier currently sitting second after trying to. Did you see that? Trying to take it like 4 wide on the apron into one. What was that man thinking? And then he flipped the car. He flipped a guy.
Justin Allgaier has become very aggressive, like recently for no reason.
Dog,
very suddenly.
I figured he would rub off on Noah Gregson, not the other way around, man.
Truthfully.
Like, it's
Goodness.
Just. I don't know, but
yeah, that was like Ross Chastain Daytona 500 levels of like video game.
What are we doing? But just on that point, no one really distanced themselves, so it's I think Xfinity Texas will probably be better than Cup Texas, so if you got time Saturday, to definitely watch that. Plus it's a shorter race, so if you don't have a really good attention span, or you don't like Texas, that's a lot of people, that'd probably be a good race to watch. Xfinity on Saturday, unless you got college football, because again, college football is back, baby. Woo woo! Check out at JoeTo2 on Twitch, or D7H5. On
Yeah,
Twitch. I got it right. It's in the both of those are gonna be in the link in the description below.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Also, Ryan Sieg almost won Kansas.
Dude, I'm telling you, if he would have got a caution, he could have probably won that race just because he was on new tires. Right?
Oh,
so
man, yes.
he got those new tires but Briscoe was just able to get far enough ahead. I think he ended up losing a spot by taking the new tires because Hemrick finished second. So
I am quietly waiting on him to win a race, and you know what? I could see him getting to the Final Four with a good enough final 2-race push.
Hey man, Martinsville, that's the ultimate wild card for these Xfinity guys because we haven't had those cars there since like 2006 or something.
Yeah, remember when our entire friend group was supposed to meet up there for that race?
Oh, not the pandemic. Right? That's what happened. Anyways,
yeah, they wish. Sorry.
Okay.
Moving
on. Truck race. Brett Moffitt wins. Moves on to his third Final Four in 3 years. Third Final Four in 3 years. Won the championship 2 years ago with a Tory. I think he finished third in points last year. Finished third. Behind Crafton and some other guy. Honestly, I have no idea anymore. These truck series seasons, like, do they just... Dude, I was so excited for trucks this year. I was so excited for ARCA this year, and then just the pandemic hits, and it's like, man, there's too much racing. I'm getting oversaturated.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't keep up with trucks anymore. I don't like. There's just so much going on.
Big story though. Tyler Ankrum was involved in a wreck early. We'll get on to another big story in a couple seconds here. Ankrum wrecks early. Zane Smith was impressive, was battling with Moffitt. Moffitt got around him with, I think it was like 2 or 3 laps to go. And then Moffitt and Smith, they were like coming down the backstretch, made contact. Smith went around, causing a yellow that gave us an overtime. So Zane Smith's continuing to impress in that 21 truck. But I think trucks will be more exciting too than the Cup. And I just think that's just and it goes back to the technical stuff, just the way those are set up. Cup was supposed to be closer to trucks, right, is what everyone was saying when the package was initially announced, and I think that's true in a lot of sense about like the way you get momentum and runs, but I think the trucks just put on better racing because they're just bricks out there, right? So they're a little harder to drive and kind of get to do what you want them to do. But yeah, I mean, truck race that's your truck race recap. You got anything else to say there, Davey?
Zane Smith's pretty damn good.
He is, and he is pretty good. Moving on to Friday night of this past weekend. Congratulations to Brett Holmes and his entire team. Family owned and operated team. They won the 2020 Arkham and Hart Series Championship. What a fantastic can we
go ahead.
Like, we too often, like, we just, I think people just discount ARCA, like, oh, they only got 16 cars in their field, but, like, Brett Holmes didn't have a sponsor on the car most weeks. I finally got one for the championship race, of course, because, I'm sure that was a very nice opportunity for the sponsor. I forget what it was. I should say it. But, just homegrown teams can do it in ARCA if they have enough money, right? Venturini with their Toyota backing has been down there for so long. DGR was supposed to be good this year, but they were okay. They weren't great though. But yeah, congrats to Brett Holmes. Well-deserved title, beating out last year's champion Michael Self.
Good for Brett Holmes, I suppose.
You not like Brett Holmes?
I don't.
It's okay.
I don't give it. I don't.
You don't care about ARCA.
I don't give a crap about Brett Holmes. I cared about ARCA until this season.
Yeah.
4 drivers ran the whole season.
Well.
Only 4.
Well, I mean, I think part of
the only reason anybody cared about ARCA is because the driver of the 4 car.
Yeah, he did.
No, like seriously, this season, I think that's the only reason people showed up at all. No one like that's really cool for Brett Holmes, family-owned team. no one cares about Brett Holmes.
Yeah.
I guess some people
But
might
hey-
care about Michael Self because he's been in the series for so long, but like I can't think of any other driver that ran in the series that anyone cares about. Like, sorry,
Ty Gibbs?
no one wants to watch Andy Seiss not qualify for a race. Ty Gibbs, who cares about Ty Gibbs?
I mean, he won like
Yeah, he won like 6 races, but that's cool. Like who cares about Ty Gibbs?
Sam Mayer.
Good for him. That's fine. Like I don't care about any of these kids. Like you care because like people that are already invested in the ARCA series care because those were the names that were coming up in the ARCA series. Like
Well, I
we
don't
give
know.
a crap.
I don't know
But
if
the
I'd
people
consider
who show up,
who
show up to ARCA races, I mean, they just want to watch some racing.
I don't know if I necessarily care, but yeah. I mean, I think the Hayley
There's
Deegan.
gonna have to be some very big changes to the way the series is structured, or the tracks they go to, or something.
Pandemic.
I know pandemic.
I think the pandemic
but
really hurt ARCA.
Yeah, it did. Like I wanted to make the joke earlier that like congrats to Brett Holmes on winning the final ARCA championship.
That's not good.
It's just,
Davey,
I mean,
Tommy's dream is to have an ARCA team, and you just told him no.
he's gonna have to settle for a truck team. I don't know what to tell him.
Settle.
Like, so I mean, but seriously though, like this is like it's cool. ARCA is a great series with great history, and ARCA, like I love ARCA. ARCA is really cool. I enjoy ARCA. I go to the ARCA race of Daytona every year. There are 33 cars, and then the pandemic hit, and everything went to. But you can't look at this and be like, oh, you know what? Good on Brett Holmes. Good on ARCA. ARCA had the season, and Brett Holmes. Oh, what a feel good story. No, ARCA's like down the drain right now. They're probably so broke. If any, like, okay, I'm not gonna go there, but like, ARCA could very well have just not existed this year if, people took a pandemic slightly more seriously. It's just not good.
Yeah.
It's just not good at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, I think, because I think the series had a lot of promise going into the year. And then,
It did.
schedule changes, and, I mean, there's just, it was a mess. The ARCA East and ARCA West is a mess as well. Formerly K&N East and West, but, yeah, I'm a little sad with the way it went. Not as an ARCA fan, but as a racing fan, because, I mean, who doesn't love just watching a random ARCA race when there's nothing else on TV?
That was my childhood, was coming home on Friday and saying, oh, ARCA's on? Heck
What?
Yeah,
I'll watch that.
Exactly. Coming home from school, and then you go on Speed Channel, and there's the ARCA race for 2 hours, and you're like, that's my evening sorted.
Rest in peace, Speed Channel.
Yeah, I just kind of took a lot of people back with that one, I think.
Pause 10 seconds for a moment of silence for the Speed Channel.
The next 3 can be for ARCA. Okay, Hayley Deegan.
Hayley Deegan. Ford, during the truck race, I think it was during the race, decided to announce, there was a red flag in there, so it was probably like a scheduled post or something. Or maybe it was before the race. I don't know. Saturdays are a freaking mess right now. Announces that she's going to be with DGR next season for trucks. Davey, we're going to play a game. We're going to play for and against. Obviously, you're going to be against. I will be for. I'm a little more positive.
Well, what are we for and against? Like a for and against
this
what?
move. This move.
For who?
Just for this move. I will say, I will make the argument that this should be a move made. You will make the argument that it shouldn't be made.
Can we just give our opinions on it?
Davey, I want to play a game.
Okay, we'll play the game.
Let's go, and then you can give your opinion.
Okay.
What's the final verdict? Will be where you give your opinion. See, I'm prepared. I have these note outlines, and then I decide.
Play the game.
Then I decide to change it all up on Davey. So, argument for this move. That's me. I gotta write down a number. 29, like 27 or something like that. We'll see if I got it right. Write it down in the comments below. For this move, Deegan's obviously going to bring money to DGR. I think that's a good thing. But they are currently like the Ford development team for ARCA and trucks. I think it's good for DGR specifically just because of money that team's building. They should not have been fielding 2 trucks this year, which they didn't really until this like second half of the season. David Reagan was supposed to be in Atlanta before the pandemic, and then a bunch of crap just kept happening to cause him not to be able to get in it until Darlington or something like that. For Deegan, I've seen the argument made that she'll learn a lot more running 20th in trucks than she will running in 5th in ARCA. I agree with that statement. I think that, allowing her to drive at more big tracks is important for her development. Because I think a lot of people are putting a lot of hopes in on that she develops into a really good race car driver. And finally, just I think it'll give the series some more spotlight, even though Jen Joe has been in the series forever. Just having a younger female driver will definitely, I think, help bolster the marketability of the series as a whole. Go on, Davey. What's your argument against this move?
Hayley Deegan finished 3rd out of 4 full-time cars in ARCA. Didn't win a race in what most people would probably imagine is pretty decent equipment. She kind of only spent a year in these cars on big tracks. She runs the risk of being moved up very quickly from trucks. It's a very slippery slope up, in my opinion, for very hyped up young drivers, especially young female drivers that have even more hype around them because of that, the marketability. Like I said, it's a slippery slope up. That's really all I have against it, personally. Because honestly, and I'm just gonna go ahead and move straight into my verdict on it. Genuinely, it's a good move. I'm not mad about the move from her to her driving a truck. I just hope that she, there's a few things I hope about her, but
doesn't say
driving wise,
that you don't want her to say that she practices bump and runs with her driving coach at the GoPro Motorplex.
I would very much enjoy that is hearing that is a thing that she doesn't do, because she hasn't won a race yet that hasn't had some sort of contact. It's a good move for her because she's going to be in the truck series, and if her and her father aren't still, they'll keep her in the truck series, and she can grow and thrive and learn, and she can actually make a driver out of herself. But and obviously the Ford development system is going to experience a lot of positives from this too, because it's Hayley Deegan. It's the most hyped up young female driver probably in the world right now in any series. There's really no going wrong with the move, but like I said, it's a slippery slope up. All it takes is a mediocre season and a money move by an agent or something and a sponsor to move her up to Xfinity. By the time she's 19 or however old she is, I don't know. That would be bad. She can very quickly become obsolete if she doesn't take this seriously, if she doesn't keep maturing, and she doesn't stay in trucks for as long as she should, whatever that may be.
Yeah,
and that's my opinion.
I had in there and just what it does for Ford's development too. So currently 19 years old, will be 20 in July next year. So if you assume that she would be doing the 1-1-1 path, which probably not a great path.
Yikes.
She'd be 20, going on 21 in a Rookie Xfinity Series season, which I honestly don't see that happening. But then again, going into this year, a lot of what she was saying was, oh, I want to get experience. I want to make sure I get experience. And I think that's where a lot of people were like, oh, that's awesome, because she could totally just ride the marketability, ride the money up to the Cup Series. And I think the pandemic, honestly, I think outside circumstances might be more involved in this move than we're aware of. Because you're not making that much money in ARCA, and you're probably spending a lot more money than you are making money off of sponsorship, endorsements, those type of things. For Ford's development system, it kind of... So this year, Tanner Gray was in the 15 truck full-time, which was the full-time EGR truck, and then the 17 was part-time, and then has been full-time these last couple weeks. Or has been running a lot of these races in the last 10 weeks or so. But they're about to have their cabin or their cupboards barren in Xfinity with Briscoe going up and then Cindric pegged to go up the year after. So for Ford's development system specifically, I think it's a good thing because they don't have a lot of seats in the first place. So trying to keep like the logjam of drivers going, that's like something we see with like TRD and Toyota. They kind of just have a logjam because they're like, oh, this guy's really good, let's sign him. And then, oh, this guy's a year younger, let's sign him. Oh, this guy's really good. And just the way they handle that is kind of weird. And it leaves a lot of guys on the outside looking in. But just final verdict before we move on to some happier news. Not happier, but not some more good truck news. I don't know why I said happier. I'm so sorry. It's tiresome. It's a good move. Like I said, she's going to learn more running trucks. I just worry about the image. Also, Natalie Decker's been running trucks for a while now, too. So I don't know what... Because people are like, oh, she's a female, and like now we're going to put all our hopes and dreams on her, right? Fans are going to be like, oh, well, she should be able to win for all the girls out there. And it's a lot to put on a young person in general, right? It's a lot to put on Bubba Wallace's shoulders to say, oh, you're the only, African-American driver out there. Say, oh, you're racing for all of us. You're the only female driver out there. You're the only Asian driver out, whatever it may be. Daniel Suarez, you're the only Latino driver out there. It's going to be a lot of weight on her shoulders because, again, I think people will overlook, like, Decker and Jen Joe just because Jennifer Jo Cobb isn't winning because of equipment more so, of course. And then Decker has a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's going to end up being a good move in the long run. I don't think she's going to light the world on fire next year, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Moving on. The guy I think is the best guy currently in the Chevy pipeline is this guy, Zane Smith. He's going to do another year with GMS Racing and trucks. Good for Zane, right, Davey? Good for Zane. His development. It's going to keep the Chevy pipeline moving, kind of, because it's not going to hamper them with their Xfinity slots, and they don't really have a lot of guys in ARCA right now anyways. I think the only guy is Carson Hocevar, who just is lighting the world on fire in late models right now. Late model stocks. So, but yeah, good for Zane. I don't know if you got any opinions on that, but...
I don't really have an opinion on Zane. I mean, he was very good in that. It seems like he's a good move for the future.
Yeah.
Good for him. Solid.
Yeah. And right now the Chevy pipeline is... I talk about them as pipelines, but they're kind of a little full in Xfinity, so I think doing another year in trucks is a good thing for him. And because he did that part-time schedule with Junior Motorsports last year in the 8 car, right? And he was actually, people don't give him enough credit. He was pretty impressive in that car. And then got a full-time gig this year, and he's going to be able to go race for a championship again next year. He's doing it right now. He's in the round of 8. And he can definitely win Texas or win Martinsville, but good for Zane. And GMS as a whole. Next bit of news, Kyle Larson reinstated. I think we've talked about Kyle Larson every single episode so far, Davey, but
yeah.
We're just
Kyle Larson.
We're just inching towards that eventual announcement that he'll be in the 5/25/88 car. /57. I got no idea what car. Do you think Tommy would root for Kyle Larson if he drove a 57 car?
Does Tommy not root for Kyle Larson?
I don't know. Does he? I don't know.
I don't think he cares. I mean, he everyone kind of had that little bit of like, Kyle Larson for a little bit there, but I think he's all right with him now.
Well, I was just saying with 57 because that's his number.
Yeah.
He drove a 57. I don't know. All right. Anyways, this is the news I really want to talk about. These next 3 things in regards to NASCAR. Chase Briscoe, baby. He's gonna be going into the 14 car next year. We talked about it a little bit last week. How this is what we thought when the Boyer news came out. Jim Utter again. Why? We all knew this was gonna happen, and then you got to publish a little story to motorsport.com. Like.
I'll let you have that one.
People don't like Jim Utter.
No, we don't. We don't like Jim Utter.
But he initially broke the story. It's not even like a story you can break. Like, oh man, what a hot, no one saw this coming story. Like I think the one, people kind of saw the Bubba thing coming, but I think that one like kind of cooled down for a while, and we're like, oh okay, it's not happening, and then bam, there it is. I'm trying to think of another one that was kind of shocking. I don't know. I guess the 95 shutting down, that was kind of out of left field, but wasn't something. It's just Twitter these days, man. Twitter these days really ruins things, but everyone kind of knew this was like the second worst kept secret in the garage area is what a lot of people are saying. The first one being that Larson's going to be in a Hendrick Motorsports car. But, oh man, I'm so happy for Chase Briscoe. This dude, he freaking deserves this cup ride more than I think anyone deserves a cup ride. What called his shot going into the year, Davey said he has to win 8 races this year. He's won 9. Mind you, was won at Darlington this year, won both the Vegas races, won the Indy road course for its first race. Like, dude has lit it up. Won Bristol. Like, oh man, just I'm so happy, man. Chase Briscoe, I love Chase Briscoe.
It's good stuff. Man. Like we said earlier, he's on fire this season. I think he's gonna do good in that 14 car. I think we're gonna.
I think he immediately becomes the second best driver at Stewart-Haas.
I think we're going to very quick. Hey, don't do that to Cole Custer. I think we're very quickly gonna see just how mediocre Clinton Boyer has been past few seasons.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Another thing to note too. Right now they haven't named the crew chief. My assumption is that Richard Boswell will be going up with him, just because they did that with Shiplet and Cole Custer after last year. So I would assume Klossmeyer gets some, because Johnny Klossmeyer moved over from the 10 to the 14, swapped with Bugger Ravitch. So I would assume that's what's going to happen there, just to keep those, because apparently these teams like to keep these crew chief drivers relationships going. But yeah, I'm really excited, man. Chase Briscoe deserves this ride so much, and just, there aren't a lot of stories where a guy like Chase Briscoe, right? This is his story. 2016 ARCA champion. 2016 ARCA champion. Most guys win an ARCA championship, they get a full-time truck ride the next year. Well, guess what? He got that. He got it with Brad Keselowski Racing, right? Oh man, great opportunity. Team freaking shuts down, Davey. Next year, he has no idea what he's going to do. Okay, you're going to do this part-time gig with, you're going to run part-time with Roush, part-time with SHR, and we're going to see what happens, right? With Ford, because he's been backed by Ford. Wins a race that year at the Charlotte Roval. Wins the inaugural Charlotte Roval Xfinity race, 2018. 2019 only wins 1 race, run full-time in the 98 car. That was when I think Stewart-Haas was I think they were a little extended on their resources, a little more than they thought they would be, running 2 full-time Xfinity cars. They scale back to the 1 team for Briscoe this year. 9 races, dude. Like, oh man. That's Chase Briscoe. And like, the thing is, a lot of these guys, they bring in sponsorship, right? They're bringing in their dads or their, family, friends, business. And Chase Briscoe, like, he had Nutrichomps last year. I love by the way, Nutrichomps, great product. We're looking for a sponsor on the podcast. Bristol loves them. And, it's just a great story, right? It's a guy that deserves this ride, deserves it because of what he does on the track. He's a great guy off the track, and I'm really excited to see what he can do in the 14 car next year.
It's never been easier to tell that you were.
That I'm a what?
that you're a Chase Briscoe fan.
You know, I just, man, so.
I'm so happy for Chase Briscoe. He deserves it.
I mean, he does though. Like, and I think.
All right, Joe. Let's talk about Justin Hayley, and then we'll come back to since we'll save the best for you for last.
One more thing with the Chase Briscoe. They brought in High Point at the start of the year, and this is how you do it, folks at home. You bring in a sponsor, and you do so freaking good that the sponsor can't just say, "Oh no, we're not going to sponsor you next year." You do so freaking good that they go up to you with Cup. Like what? Just. So highpoint.com is going to be on that 14 car as the anchor sponsor is what they've called it in the press releases. So I'm assuming at least 13 out of the 36 races or half the races or whatever that works out to be. Because I'm assuming Rush Truck Center, Mobile One, and Peak stay on that car for the races that they've been doing. Deck Lab maybe too. Justin Hayley. See, Davey's steering me because he doesn't want me to talk about my two of my guys back to back. Davey, you're such a good co-host.
Look at that. I'm learning.
You're learning.
I'm helping out.
Colleague, it wasn't really a swerve job, but they did some great, man, their PR department, they did some great stuff.
I love everything about colleague racing so much.
Dude, they're like...
What a cool, fun team.
Like, who doesn't want to work for colleague racing right now? Like,
honestly.
But...
You got any engineering openings? I know a guy.
I mean, I'm an intern. Justin Hayley... Staying put in the 11 car. All I need is room and board. That's all I need. Just room and board. We're good. Don't need anything extra.
Listen, if you're gonna do it all at once. Don't fragment it.
Let me stay in the what's it called?
So
Attic.
Good move for Justin Hayley.
Good move for Justin Hayley. Good job, Davey. And colleague too. They're gonna continue to build on their resumes. I think Justin Hayley, he's got the 3 wins on plate tracks this year, so I think people are going to say, oh, it's kind of suspicious. Like, you're not kind of sus, right? You only won on plate tracks, but dude has been putting in work on a lot of these tracks this year, and colleagues put in a lot of work to make the cars better.
I mean, you got to think, if he's winning at plate tracks in the Xfinity Series, just wait to see how he drives on the intermediate tracks in the Cup Series.
But Davey, we're going to get it. Next gen's going to solve all the issues of the current car.
Obviously, yeah. There's not going to be a single problem it doesn't fix.
That's how engineering works. We solve all the problems immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, he could probably run Cup next year. There weren't any good seats open, so I think staying in Xfinity, right? I think that's probably the best move.
It's a good move. It's a good move. It's a good move for colleague. It's a good move for Hayley. I like that a lot. I like them together. I like colleague as a team. Justin Hayley is really cool. I think he will continue to improve as well.
Yeah, I am very excited for colleague next year too, because you got to figure with Briscoe out of the Cup Series or out of the Xfinity Series onto the Cup Series, that's 9 races right there.
At least.
I mean, yeah, at least. You also got to consider though that there's going to be more Cup guys running races again next year in Xfinity. Just once all the kind of COVID restrictions and stuff go away, hopefully after the first couple months of the season next year. But it's gonna be good for him, and I'm assuming colleague's gonna be the same. You know, they're gonna have probably 2 full-time cars and then a 3rd part-time car again next year. Supposedly, this is another thing I've heard from podcasts. Door Bumper Clear. I think Brett Griffin was saying like Anthony Alfredo, Kaz Gralla, maybe. I think maybe it's just been Alfredo is one of the guys like trying to get that that other colleague car. So, we'll see. That happens, but yeah, awesome for Justin Hayley. Good to see him. He's going to continue to build his resume down there in the Xfinity Series. Mind you, already a Cup Series winner, so
Cup Series winner Justin Hayley.
Hey, now you're an all-star. Final silly season NASCAR news. Oh man, I'm excited. Eric Jones, Adam Stern reports of Sports Business Journal. Look at me being all official. Eric Jones will be taking over the 43 car. It's a step back for Eric, right? It's a step back. It's gonna be a kind of, I don't want to call it, I call it a prove it year in the notes, Davey. And I think by that it's a prove it in terms of this team cannot go back, like it cannot regress with the loss of Bubba Wallace, the sponsorship, and just that chemistry. They can't move back. They have to at least stay where they are this season, right?
I did not know you were. I thought you were continuing off that thought. No.
No.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I was just like, I was being polite, letting you continue.
Hey man, you're great.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Yeah. You're right. Like 110%. I don't know why I always say that. I don't know why I always start off with that.
Okay, I always say interesting.
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 But yeah, I mean it's kind of on one hand, it's kind of a shame that RPM has to restart this process, having lost Bubba. I mean, I'm sure the improvements made as a team are going to stick, but the disruption of having a new driver come in will affect any team, and it's going to take a while. It's going to take maybe a race or two for Jones to settle at RPM, and like, who really knows where the expectations are with that team next season? Like, if Eric Jones runs about the same, like, well, did the team improve? Like, is he as good as Bubba Wallace? How's Bubba Wallace doing now? Like, it's all really dependent on next season's performance.
Yeah, and I think
like amongst everybody. Sorry. God.
No, you're good. You were still talking. I was trying to talk over you. Sponsorship, I think, is going to be the issue. It sounds like Worldwide Technology is going to stay with the team. But DoorDash, Cash App, those are assumed to be going with Bubba Wallace. The Columbia couple races, Coca-Cola, right? They've been on the car for a couple races here and there. So that's kind of where I'm a little hesitant about saying, oh yeah, he has to do exactly as good as Bubba, because we've seen the 43 improve. It's now constant top 20 car the last couple weeks, or right around the top 20. Last season they weren't the greatest at times, but then they kind of hit it off towards the end of the year. Then they get a whole new crew chief again, which is also something to consider. I'm wondering if they're going to keep Jerry Baxter, or if Baxter's going to go with Bubba, or if they're going to bring in another TRD guy to go with Bubba. Oh my god, could you imagine if they put Chris Gale with Bubba Wallace? Oh man. Chris Gale, I'm sure, is a really smart dude, but sometimes the strategy calls are just what are you doing, bud? Aggravation, anger, frustration.
Anger.
Real quick, and this is a tangent. This is definitely a tangent.
Go
but
ahead.
How is it that Denny Hamlin does bad 1 year, and you're okay, let's get him a new crew chief? Eric Jones has had the same crew chief since 2017, and we don't give him a new crew chief, but keep saying, oh yeah, you gotta keep winning races. We're not gonna change anything, but you gotta win more. Obviously something there is not working, and it's probably not the cars. I don't think it's the driver. Maybe it is. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's not the driver. There's one other big factor. But we're not going to change it, but we'll change it on drop of a hat for Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. I think that's Eric's personality too. He's not a very aggressive dude. It doesn't so maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I'm excited because now I don't have to get rid of 43 stuff, and not that I was, but I'm happy that another good guy is going to be in the 43 car. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree.
Oh. That wraps up the NASCAR silly season portion of this podcast. What a fun time.
Thank God. I'm over silly season.
Dude, it's almost over.
I'm over it.
Then it'll start for next year.
Ugh.
Series wrapping up this weekend. The NTT Data IndyCar Series finale at St. Petersburg this weekend. St. Pete, Davey, it's a tough course. They'll have fans in attendance.
Tricky,
oh boy.
Tricky. Scott Dixon's gonna win.
Scott Dixon, I was looking up the numbers actually, Davey. Scott Dixon has never won at St. Pete. Never won. Currently he leads by 32 points over defending champion Joseph Newgarden. Newgarden won the race last year. If Newgarden was to win this race this year, he would need Dixon, it looks like, to finish in the 13 to back range. So I mean I doubt that happens. So I think think Scott Dixon's probably a pretty good pick. Like if you're like, oh man, I want to take the safe bet, I'm gonna pick Scott Dixon.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, but man, Joseph Newgarden is a guy that could definitely get it done if the right circumstances happen. All it takes is one bad corner, Davey. All it takes one bad corner, one guy to chop your nose, hit the wing. You got to come down, make an extra stop, place a wing. All it takes.
Scott Dixon is really good at not putting himself in those situations.
True.
He is very good at that. I just looked at the stats. His last 3 years at St. Pete has finished no worse than 6th, has 2 podiums, 2nd and 3rd.
Come on, Davey. Don't get my Joseph Newgarden fan hopes up.
I love Joseph Newgarden with all my heart. Absolutely sweet boy, salt of the earth, love the guy. Scott Dixon's winning another championship this year.
That would give him title number 6.
Yep.
That would give Chip Ganassi Racing next year 11 Tier 1 motorsports championships, driver championships, or whatever you want to call them.
Christ. Yeah.
I call Indycar and NASCAR the Tier 1s in America. IMSA's like Tier 1B. Also, Petit Le Mans was this, like, I'm not going to go there. I don't want to make this too long. Plus, I didn't really care. Debut Scott McLaughlin this weekend. It's an interesting situation for Team Penske and their 2021 lineup. In your opinion, would you expand to 4 cars, adding McLaughlin? Because it sounds like Elio isn't going to be back with Penske next year. I don't think Scott's going to stay in Australia because he's a 3-time defending champ in supercars, right? Because he's won everything under the freaking sun. Or will Simon Pagenaud get the boot? Because I do not think Penske will boot Will Power, and you're not going to boot Joseph Newgarden. So, tricky situation over there.
I was saying this before we recorded. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I don't know if there's any context that would dictate one decision or the other. Simon Pagenaud. He's in a Penske car. You would expect him to be doing a little bit better than 8th in the standings, but it's been a weird season. He's got the 1 win on the season, he's got the 1 win on the season, doesn't he? At where did he win? Iowa?
Did he win at Iowa?
Didn't he win one of the Iowas?
Yeah, maybe.
He got I know he finished top 5 the second day. I thought he won the first day. Let me check.
He did. Yeah, he did. Because he won by a big margin too.
Yeah. He hasn't had the best season. I think it comes down more to funding than anything. Any sort of opinion on whether he needs the ride or where Scott McLaughlin's better than him. I think it comes down to funding more than anything. If it's
But
I don't know.
It's Penske, so funding isn't the issue, right?
No, for sure, absolutely. No, I get that.
Because Pagenaud is big with Menards, and I think Menards really likes him from just the amount of commercials and stuff they do. And McLaughlin's got the Shell Pennzoil shell from his supercar days. What would your expectations be for a guy though in his first race at St. Pete in the championship finale?
I think he's just hoping to keep it in between the lines.
Yeah.
That would be my goal, coming from big fendered cars to Indy cars, across the earth. I think he'll do very well. I think he is a supremely talented driver, more talented than we even probably realize at this point. I think he's going to do very well in Indy, but I think his first race, he's just trying to keep it between the lines.
Watch him win it.
Honestly, it wouldn't even surprise me. It would be wow, that's amazing, but I wouldn't say I did not expect that, because I think Scott McLaughlin is just that good.
Yeah, he's so good. He's a really good race car driver. I wouldn't be surprised to see him do some Xfinity races in the future too.
Oh, stick that guy on an Xfinity car
at a road course
or Mid Ohio. Oh,
victory!
It'd be poetry.
It'd be so good. But it's one final IndyCar race, Davey. I know we talked you haven't followed it too crazily this year. It's been such a weird year.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry, IndyCar things, and sorry for not having like any information at all.
It's okay. You're gonna follow it more next year when your boy Jimmy Jam's over there, right?
This is very true. This is very true.
But one final IndyCar race, one final time, 2020. Make a pick. Call your shot. Win the race.
Joseph Newgarden wins the race.
Oh man. Yeah. Newgarden's defending race winner. It's gonna be. I'm sure they're having practice, but it'll be minimal practice probably.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't looked at the weekend schedule. Yeah. My pick would be Newgarden.
I do still think Scott Dixon's gonna win the championship because I think even if Joseph Newgarden gets max points, like it's like a 20 position swing for like. Hold on, let me look at the points format.
Look, I was so prepared, man. I put him right there in the dock.
I know.
I was ready.
So good.
I was like, he's gonna need this info.
Let's see the gap right now.
So for
32 points. If he gets all the bonus points, if he gets the
leading lap, most laps, that'd be 4. So then he won the race, that'd be 54. So he would need Dixon to finish 10th or worse without leading a lap.
All things considered, it's possible.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like traditionally, like they've done like the double points for the last race a lot of times and stuff like that, and they're not doing it. I don't think they're gonna do that anymore in general. That's just silly, honestly, in my opinion.
Agreed.
If you're gonna be like the Indy 500 should be double points because it is the most important race of the year if you want to do it that way. But yeah, your championship race shouldn't be double points. It shouldn't be a winner take all. But true racing, true format. Yeah, I think Newgarden's the pick here to win the race. He's gonna be coming and screaming to try to win it. Because I think he's gonna know that he's gotta win it because he finishes second. There's no chance, right? Like it's 10 points between first and second, so he's gonna have to win it because even if he finished second, then Dixon can finish as worse as 22nd if neither of them. So like he's gonna have to win it most likely. Yeah.
Which he can. I think he's probably more capable of winning that race. Like that's why he's my pick, obviously. But like,
you picked him because you thought he was actually gonna win. You didn't just pick him to pick him. What? Crazy. I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing.
Okay.
We're having fun, Davey. Are we not having fun tonight?
Who's having fun? Not me.
Oh man.
Let's get to Texas. I mean, let's not, but let's get to Texas.
Texas preview. This is what I said. This is what our notes read. It's Texas. It's Texas. It will stink. Watch IndyCar football. Watch IndyCar. Cup race. It's a 1-lane track in turns 1 and 2. Since they decided to flatten it for some reason.
Unless you have a late race pit stop and Austin Dillon pulls a win out of his ass again, it's going to be Kevin Harvick or Denny Hamlin. Because guess what? They won 3 races prior to that at Texas. So.
Heyo. Yeah, I mean those would be the guys to pick to win the race. But I'll go Hamlin.
I do have a different pick.
Oh man, I'm gonna pick Hamlin though. He's gotta win.
I am going to pick Jimmy Johnson to take down Dub this Sunday.
In that lefty car?
In the lefty car. I think Jimmy Johnson, I think they're working very hard to get him a checker flag in his last few races. He's got very good tracks for himself coming up. Texas and Martinsville, his 2 best besides Dover.
Watch him wreck a guy at Phoenix. It's failing for the championship to try to win the race.
Damn well, I would love every second of it.
That'd be great. Oh man. And Chase somehow wins the championship. What a riot. I'm sorry, I kind of interrupted you. You said Jimmy's going to win. They want to get him a checkered flag. This is Texas. This is Jimmy Jam Town.
Jimmy Jam Town. I think he'll be feeling very comfortable heading into the next couple races. So I hopefully mentally the mistakes aren't there. Hopefully Cliff Daniels hits on a setup. I'm just JJ homering right now. And yeah, I think Jimmy Johnson has the capability to pull it out, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you're gonna pick a non-playoff guy, I think Jimmy and Eric Jones, those are the two. Because I think those are the two that need to win a race and that prove it, right? I think Jimmy, just for his career, not that he needs to win anymore, to solidify that he is a GOAT of racing.
Just to make me cry.
Aw, Davey, I don't want you to
No,
cry.
I will bawl like a baby if he wins before the end of the season. I will actually cry.
Hey man, that's fair. But yeah. So if you do have time, that Xfinity race, it's gonna be good because there are a lot of guys that probably feel like they have to win. You want to win before you go to Martinsville for sure. And we've seen all season long, Xfinity has been crazy. My pick to win the Cup race is Denny because I think he has to win. If I'm to pick a guy for Xfinity, it'd be Cindric because he won there in July, and there's going to be no Kyle Busch, who actually won the race but then got DQ'd because of ride heights, I believe. Or something. It was probably something silly they get disqualified for. But yeah, I mean,
I don't want to make this pick, so I do not like this driver.
Uh-oh.
But I really think Noah Gragson's going to get a jammy win out of this, and he's going to make it a real awkward situation for Austin Cindric.
Yeah. Can you imagine Austin Cindric going into Martinsville needing to win?
He's going to go back to his old wreck everybody ways.
Hey, man.
Aren't really that old, but...
To his credit, he's not the worst this year.
No, not this year, but he has been before.
Hey. He's improving. Getting better.
He is. I will say that. He is improving a lot, and if he keeps maturing, he's going to prove me wrong, and I'm going to have to eat my words. But I still think he drives like a spoiled brat sometimes, like Indianapolis road course. He drove like a total spoiled brat trying to get back to those cars. Oh, God. No, I'm just going to move on. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's...
Watch the Xfinity race.
Yeah, watch the Xfinity race. It'll be a fun one. That's going to wrap up the Fake Racers podcast, episode 3, silly season. I don't know what I'm actually going to call this. It's going to be called something. Kansas recap. Kansas ass.
I'm over silly season.
I know,
I'm so
Davey.
over it. I'm so over it.
We're going to talk. Hopefully it's over after this week.
I just want to talk about fun stuff. I don't want to talk about... I don't want to talk about if Simon Pagenaud's going to not have a ride in Indycar.
That's sad. I don't want to talk about sad stuff. I want to talk about fun stuff. And we're going to get there, guys. Right now it's kind of a lot of just trying to get the feel of it. That's why maybe sometimes these feel a little, bleh. I guess
last week's felt like that. This week's was good. In my opinion, yeah. This week's I felt like it was really good. And obviously the first one's going to have its moments, but like last week's was like kind of like, eh. This one, I like this one. This one was fun. I had a good time.
Man, I really liked last week. I thought last week was fun. I thought...
you know what? That's fine. You don't have to dictate your opinion on me.
I'm feeling different mojo every week, and that's good. Give them a different show. Make sure if you liked this podcast video, whatever you want to call it, you hit the like button. Let us know how we did. I saw we had a lot of likes on the first one last week. Maybe your opinion's right, Davey. We did not get the likes on the last one, so smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you love the JTN content. We are almost to 250 subscribers. And we really appreciate all the support that we're getting, whether it be from you, the viewer at home, whether it be from, Hobo Racing, ASRA, TMP Racing League, their combo thing that we're broadcasting with them, or the United States Online Racing League when we get them back in.
Yes, sir. Come watch me race, baby.
Couple weeks here, Davey's going to put on a show for you folks once again. Davey, where can they find out more about you and information regarding you?
Well, my Twitter is at Davey Hazard. My Instagram is at D7H5. My Twitch is D7H5er. You'll see me on Twitter. I post about racing and I post hot takes. It's pretty much a preview for the podcast every week. Instagram, I post about my real life racing stuff. And my girlfriend occasionally. Love you.
Aww.
Twitch. I know that was very heartwarming. On Twitch, you can see me probably stream iRacing or F1. Or Rocket League, or Phasmophobia, whatever is the flavor of the week that week. If you want to keep up with me, I know I have the best opinions. I know everyone loves to hear me talk about absolutely nothing. So, find me there. Find my socials. You guys are great. Buy JTN merch, by the way. My JTN shirt is lit. I am so happy that I have that shirt. It is a nice shirt. It is a good quality shirt, Joe. Came here in a timely manner.
Good.
And if you're not buying JTN merch, I'm disappointed in you. Whoever you are. I don't know who you are, but if you ain't buying it, I'm disappointed. Does Tommy have a JTN? Does Tommy have JTN merch yet?
Of course he does. Yeah.
Okay, good. I would have smacked him silly. I'll beat your twiggy ass, I swear to God.
I'm gonna leave that in there because that is just too good. Yeah, make sure you check out all of Davey's stuff is linked in the description. Give him a follow, whether it be on Twitch, Instagram, or Twitter, or all three. You know, that's the best way to show your support for.
Oh yeah, show me love.
Show him love. He needs it sometimes, man. We have a fun time here, but you know, sometimes we rustle each other's jimmies a little too much, and it's just heated. It's heated. No, but buy the JTM merch if you can. I know some, you know, a lot of times say I don't like it when people say, oh, the best way to, support us by buying our stuff. If you really like us, if you really love what we're doing, that is a great way to support us. Go into our Teespring. That's linked in the description below. It's a great way to support us here at JTN. It does a lot and it helps us. You can also check out Johto Designs, which is in the link in the description below. If you like some more racing related designs, you can use code JTN2 at checkout for 10% off at that store. I'm trying to think. You can check out my Twitch. We'll be live streaming NCAA 14 college football games this week. Hopefully, we'll see. On my Twitch, give me a follow over there at Johto2, I believe. It's all linked in the description below. If you just hit show more under the video after you've already hit like and subscribe.
That's important. The description doesn't show up unless
you have to hit show more the way YouTube has it set up. Like you have to hit it. So you hit that, and then you'll see more. And then all those links, they're right there. There's the link to our Facebook page. Give us a like over there if you got a Facebook. There's Twitter. It's on the way. JTN Twitter's coming. It's on its way. I promise.
Come on. I give me the tracking number. I'll track it.
Two.
After the recording. It's,
two.
They don't need to hear that.
Two. Dang it, Davey. Shoot. I was like, okay, I got a rough time. I'm holding Davey for as long as you can with all these sponsors. Check out AutoSim. That's always linked in our broadcast. I'm trying to think, is there anything else? But honestly, best way to support us, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit like. If you feel so inclined, share the video with all your friends. We appreciate that a lot. I like to see the uptick in viewers that we've gotten on stuff. I know it takes a while. We're on the grind to 250 right now here on JTN. We got some great content that you can watch race replays that we've done broadcasts of. If you want to hear more of my beautiful voice, if you want to hear more of Davey's voice, Big Racers podcast. But let me tell you, this dude had some great calls in the first couple weeks of JTN. So you go back to some of our earlier videos. Now, the video quality might not be great, but if you're watching these podcasts, you're looking at a blank screen anyway. So just flip the phone over, plug it into a speaker,
turn the race on.
Just it's a fun time. We have a fun time here at JTN. We love all your support. Thank you so much for watching. If you still stuck around through these last 5 minutes of us just plugging things, we appreciate it. To the freaking moon and back. For everyone here at JTN, for Davey Hazard, thank you, Davey, for joining me again. We're going to get back at this next week. Hopefully not as much silly season talk, but it'll probably be a shorter
Thank you, Joe,
it'll probably be
having me on.
Davey, like I said, you have been one of the biggest supporters of me through trying to get this going, and if I can do anything that helps you, I'm gonna do it. If this is something that you have fun doing, and I like to think we have fun doing this. We wouldn't be doing it if we didn't.
We do, absolutely. I had tonight was a blast. We're gonna have to save like the last 15-20 minutes for just real life talk,
Yeah.
or something. Basically what we're doing right now. We're just talking.
We're feeling it out right now. It should be a different picture this time, a little more fun. That'll be a new merch design you can check out at the JTN merch store. Just plugging away. But we appreciate all your support. Best way to do so, subscribe. I think I've said it enough times now. Check out the JTN merch, check out Johto Designs, check out all of Davey's socials, check out my Twitch. Thank you so much for watching. For Davey Hazard, for Bristol, our producer, back in the JTN studio, I've been Joe Twansky here with the Fake Racers podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Can't wait to hear from you next week. And if you loved what you saw, hit subscribe. It's a great time here at JTN. Thank you so much for watching. We love you to the moon and back. See you guys next time.
Davey says bye.